Hi everyone, I'm Meteorologist Rusty McCranie, and welcome to Weather Express. Your weather in 5 minutes. Start the clock. Friends, we have an area of low pressure moving across the northern Gulf Coast states. That's bringing a good round of showers and storms. Another Pacific storm as well with some rain, and that's going to cause some problems with flooding, especially as warm as it's getting in the northern and the western sides of the U.S. We'll get into all that in a second. Let's start off in the southeast with the most active weather today. As always, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section where you're viewing from, what the weather has been like. If you live in areas like eastern sides of Louisiana, central and southern Mississippi, and the coastal areas of Alabama and the western panhandle of Florida, it's been a pretty active day. A good round of showers and storms. Now look, temperatures are only in the 40s in most areas. There's a bit of lightning associated with this at this point in time. But again, these are just generalized thunderstorms for the most part and some heavier rain. This system will continue to work its way off towards the east and then move into the peninsula of Florida over the next 24 hours. And as you can see, when you get down towards places like Miami and Key West, temperatures there are actually into the lower 70s. So there's a little bit more juice in the atmosphere down there. And right now, the Storm Prediction Center has just a generalized risk of thunderstorms with this system pulling into the eastern Gulf tomorrow. But I think you get down to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Key West, areas like that, we could at least have a marginal risk for a couple of strong to severe storms, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a second. Man, oh man, it's been a gorgeous day in the Northeast, the Ohio Valley. Temperature is very nice for late February. It's actually a little bit of rain through portions of central sides of Ohio, including Columbus. Temperatures there above average and into the upper 30s. You want to talk about a big warm-up. Look what's happening in the Plain States right now. Places like Dallas, which struggled to get out of the teens for daytime highs earlier in the week, are now in the mid and upper 60s. Some areas of Texas in the lower 70s. And look what's happening in places like Minnesota and the Dakotas. Areas that were 40, 50, 60 degrees below zero for wind chill values just 4 days ago now have temperatures above freezing. So it's some rain. It's also some very windy conditions as well. Strong wind gusts here, 25, 35, even 40 miles an hour. But that rain is going to cause some problems with all the heavy snow we've had lately. We're going to talk about some flooding issues in a lot of these spots. You want to talk about some big time wind. Look what's happening in the Intermountain West right now. Portions of southwest Montana, gusts over 70 miles an hour. Same thing for portions of Wyoming, and these are some downslope winds. These are some very warm winds coming down off of the higher terrain, and that's also causing additional snowmelt. You want to talk about problems with flooding and some avalanche issues. We've got it through a lot of the Intermountain West. There's that Pacific Northwest storm from Seattle to Olympia and Portland. The rain is quite heavy right now. There's a lot of wind. It's still even some rain into some decent elevations right now of portions of the Olympia and the Cascade Ranges here. And that's going to be a problem, again, because we have a big-time snowpack in those areas. When you look at the advisories, first of all, along the coastline, it's gale warnings, storm warnings, things like that. Then you get inland, all the greens, there's going to be some kinds of flood warnings. Then you get to the higher elevations. It's a mix of winter storm warnings and avalanche warnings. So additional heavy snow, but also some flood issues as well for places like Spokane. You got the high wind watches in the southern sides of Washington state. Look at all the high wind warnings in portions of Montana, right on through the northern sides of Wyoming, including the Cody areas. Salt Lake City still has an avalanche advisory. You got high wind warnings out to the eastern sides of Wyoming as well. Big time problem here. Again, I'm most concerned about the flood potential with the melting snow because temperatures are going to stay well above average and well above freezing over the coming days. Now you can clearly see this system spinning on shore. This could still bring 6 to 8 inches of snow in some areas here over the next few days, but most of this is going to fall in the way of liquid precipitation. You can see again a little bit of rain through southern sides of the Ohio Valley, but the most active weather again is going to be through the peninsula of Florida. You can see that storm system working its way through. Now for places like Orlando and Tampa, this is simply going to be some showers in an isolated storm. But as I mentioned, there's just a little bit more energy in the far southern side of the state. So Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Key Largo, Key West, an isolated strong to severe storm for tomorrow is absolutely possible. This system does race quickly off towards the east. So I'm not expecting there to be very high rainfall totals for the most part in these areas. Speaking of that, this is the GFS model for the rainfall totals. The areas in pink and white are going to be on the model that you see about 1 to 2 inches of rain. We're going to get a little bit more rain in the Appalachians in the Northeast, which of course turns into some snow. That's going to be some snow for the Pacific Northwest. And you can see again, the reds are going to be 6 to 8 inches of snow. When I get out to the broad perspective here, I just want to show you guys real quickly that over the next 6 to 10 days, it continues to be very warm in the plains and the west, which is why I'm concerned about the snowmelt continuing. But overall, we stay wet across the United States. All the areas in green, a higher than normal chance of above average precipitation. Friends, as you can see from the clock, I'm out of time. If you like this content, thank you so much for liking this video and considering subscribing to Weather Express. I'm back tomorrow with your latest 5-minute forecast.